So, ladies and gentlemen, Mamdani is receiving a massive amount of backlash after promising New Yorkers that his new tax would be narrowly targeted at ultra-wealthy outsiders who own multi-million-dollar residences that sat empty. But yet somehow what he promised is vastly different than what he actually delivered on, which was a searchable database covering nearly 960,000 properties, complete with owner information, addresses, and property valuation, where now lifelong residents are being told that they're going to have to prove that the resident that they've been living in this entire time is their primary residence. And so this is how it begins with communists, promising one thing, new policies that will only target small groups of wealthy people, but the real world example is far from that. And now residents are fuming and in fear of a tax bill they never expected. Let's go and start right here where New York City, listen to this, warns thousands of homeowners they may have to pay the new pied-à-terre tax. Take a listen to this.
New York City says letters have gone out warning thousands of homeowners they may have to pay the new controversial pied-à-terre tax. It's a surcharge for people who own property here but declare their primary residence outside of the city. As Lisa Rosner reports, some residents are confused and concerned they're on the list when they shouldn't be.
An 81-year-old woman on the Upper East Side tells CBS News New York she's lived full-time in her townhouse for 3 decades and has no other residence. Yet she received a letter from the city warning she has until August 21st to prove she's exempt from the new pied-à-terre tax, or she'll owe $56,000. It stems from the mayor's promise in April to tax the rich.
This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city.
The mayor says the move approved by Governor Hochul helped close a budget gap without slashing essential services. As part of the rollout, the city created a database of addresses that includes but is not limited to those properties that may be subject to the surcharge. It's creating confusion for homeowners like Eugene Dooley, whose Staten Island condo is in the database, but he says it's the only home he owns.
Retired on Social Security, that's basically the money that I get.
He says he did not get a warning letter, and neither did the borough president Vito Fossella, but they're both in a new potential pied-à-terre tax database.
In my case, it's the house I grew up in that my father lives. We both have the same name. He owns it, and I have my house. The danger is it's almost like an enemies list that's being created, right? The whole notion of that property is a bad thing. That the American dream is actually now an American nightmare.
The Currys are among several homes on an Annandale street in the database.
I think it's ridiculous.
This is all working class, and families and children and grandchildren.
The city says it's committed to implementing the new surcharge fairly and efficiently. On Staten Island, Lisa Rosner, CBS News, New York.
Okay, so there you have that. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you are enjoying the content, smash that thumbs up button. That's the best way you can let me know. Subscribe to stay locked in with future videos. So let me get this straight. This is absolutely insane. There's so many moving parts to this. Number one, you got the individuals, you got people, you just saw right there, an 81-year-old woman, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think she's gonna really know how to go online and be able to figure out, okay, what paperwork, what she gotta upload in order to prove that she's been at her residence for 3 decades? Hopefully she has family and people who she can reach out to, or else she'll fall through the cracks. But there's so many moving parts to this. You have individuals who've been living in their home, paying their property taxes, paying their mortgage, paying everything they owe to be able to remain in their home all this time, minding their business, living their life, been there for years, been there for decades, some of them. And now because Mamdani just comes on in and says, you have to prove to us that you have actually been in your residence and it's your primary residence. If you can't prove it, then you owe us money. We're going to tax you. If you can't prove that that's not a secondary residence, there is a strong possibility. We can't not guarantee it. There's a possibility that you will be on the hook for a bill. You will be taxed. That's one moving part. Then the next moving part is we messed up by creating this 900,000+, nearly 1 million database with all these names and addresses in them. And then we're also going to be the ones who will know how to fix it by making sure that people who aren't supposed to pay don't pay. We're going to hire some more people on, and they're going to fix all this to make sure everybody's good. How many people trust that that's actually going to work out the way they want to? I mean, from the very beginning, Mamdani's was selling this as a very narrow, ultra wealthy. I mean, we remember it. He stood out front of Ken Griffin's home, knocking on the camera saying, hey, you see this guy right here? You see these people? We're going to be taxing them. We're going to be taking their money. Rubbing his fingers together, rubbing his hands together like a villain. And this is the end result. It wasn't a narrow, small group of individuals. It's now become almost 1 million homes on a list with potentially, if you can't prove that you actually lived there and it's not a secondary home, you could be on the hook. But there's more. Take a listen to this. Mayor Mamdani is being accused of fomenting violence against property owners by publishing a searchable database of well-off property owners. These are people who Mamdani is surging taxes on because they have too much wealth. Send this communist back to Uganda. Take a listen to this.
Properties that could be impacted by that tax. Here's Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman on the Big Apple mayor.
He's a clown, and now he's putting the list of people that owns homes in New York. Don't put people on lists. They haven't done anything wrong, and they're behaving in truly bizarre ways.
National correspondent Brian Yenis joining us live from right here in New York City with more on this. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Bill. Good afternoon. Well, Mayor Zohran Mamdani's rollout of this pied-à-terre tax on luxury second homes in New York City is causing confusion and raising concerns. For one, there is that searchable database of 960,000 properties in the city. It states on that database that all may be subject to the tax. It includes the names, addresses, and home valuations of every property owner in the city, even though just an estimated 31,000 properties meet the basic valuation criteria to qualify for this new tax.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, understand what's going on here. 31,000 estimated homes were eligible. Yeah, you could probably say maybe there was a mix-up. Maybe somebody made a mistake if it was 60,000, 100,000, 200,000. 400,000, 500,000. But properties recorded on this list are all the way up to almost 1 million, 960,000, ladies and gentlemen. I don't believe that was a mistake. I think this is about fear. I think this is about fear. You have the money. You're well off. You are what I consider to be rich and wealthy. And now the socialist loony bins out there, they have your information. And so if you don't fall in line, if you don't get with the program, they can be activated. But let's continue.
Critics say this database makes it too easy to search and even target or harass the wealthy at a time that the mayor has been hostile towards them. Today, Mayor Mamdani said this is not a targeted list. It's a total property roll they had to release under state law.
We are committed to ensuring that this is a tax only levied upon those whose second homes are worth more than $5 million. And the reason that we wanted to conduct outreach months in advance of when the tax would be levied would be to ensure that that exact premise would be fulfilled.
Yeah, and so let me go ahead and break this down. Because using the excuse that the law is what made him do it, it's weak, and it avoids the actual real question that reporters should be asking, which is, why would your administration in the first place design and approve a process that placed nearly 960,000 properties onto a downloadable, searchable database that the public, that anyone could access? And you knew that only a small fraction of that total number would actually be the ones who owed any money, would be actually eligible for the tax. And so it was the fact that he consciously made the decision to go with the broadest rollout, releasing hundreds of thousands of names, addresses that will never get taxed according to, these are his words. And now, on top of that, you have individuals where they're going to have to prove that they've actually been in their home this entire time and it's not a second property. And if they don't prove it, well, it's not a guarantee that they won't be taxed, that they won't be on the hook. But let's continue.
Critics also point out Mamdani's pied-à-terre tax is wider in scope than what's been sold to New Yorkers. It's unclear, for instance, how the tax will be fairly levied on condos and co-ops worth more than $1 million, according to the city's complicated valuation formula. Notices have been sent in the mail like this one to property owners who may be taxed. Real estate lawyers and property owners tell us they're concerned the August deadlines to respond are not enough time to prove they should not be taxed.
My concern is that this tax is being implemented almost as if you're guilty until you can prove you're innocent. There will be people who never get the notice, and they're going to end up paying the tax because they never got an opportunity to supply their information.
Critics say this is the kind of tax that will push out the wealthy and the city's tax base. Mamdani says this tax will raise $500 million for free services like childcare. Those who want to appeal their tax, by the way, have until March.
Yeah, so listen, to me, this sounds like it's all par for the courses. Everything that's right on schedule for Mamdani. This is the same guy who campaigned on taxing the rich, who created this clash between, hey, they're the ones who have the money. They're the ones who are doing so well, who they're making your life hard. This is what he told his supporters. This is what the Democrat socialists, they're all about. You got to tax the wealthy and the rich because they're the ones they're keeping their foot on your neck, and they're the reason why you suck at life. And so we're going to take from them and give to you. And so that guy who campaigned on that, who got into office on that idea, now he's put out a hit list of property owners. It sounds like things are going exactly according to his real plan, if you ask me personally. So let's go ahead and jump into this next part, ladies and gentlemen, where Ted Cruz, he did not mince word. Mamdani administration published the names and addresses of New York property owners, as we know. And he goes all out and just says that Mamdani is not a socialist. He's a Marxist. He's a full-on communist. Take a listen.
This is who the communists are. And the word communist sounds jarring, but that is who these people are. Mamdani is not a socialist. He is a Marxist. He's a full-on communist. The DSA candidates that he supported that won in New York are full-on communists. The DSA candidates who won in Colorado are full-on communists. And look, as you know, my family has seen this firsthand. Mm. My father was imprisoned and tortured in Cuba as a teenager. My tia Sonia was imprisoned and tortured by Fidel Castro. This can happen, and this is part and parcel of the strategy. It is identify the people you hate and then harass them, threaten them, and violence is part of the plan. That's not a bug. It is a feature. It is the objective.
Yeah, so there you have that, ladies and gentlemen. I just find it hard to believe. You tell me. But I found it hard to believe that was done without any maliciousness. That Mamdani is the database, and it was no harm meaning to be done to all these people whose name ended up on this database. No other intentions meant by this. I don't think it's just that simple where it's like, yeah, it's just a list. I think it's far more to than what is being put on and what's being told to the public by his administration. And that brings us to this next clip with Glenn Beck, and he kind of digs into that a bit on what he thinks it's about. And so take a listen to this.
So he's giving out their name and address. Why? Why? Why would you do that? What is the purpose for that? Your purpose is to shame them and to scare them. Now I've just given the socialist mob the address of your home. If you fight back with me, they have your address. This guy is, I'm sorry, but he has every earmark of a communist dictator. He has every earmark of a really, look, socialism has been tried 170 times in America. And a lot of times they've been done by people who are better angels. They have just the best of intentions. They really want to try it, and they've done it. We've started town after town after town after town. I'm going to do a special on this. The number of times that socialism has been tried in America by really good and smart people, and it's failed every single time. Okay, those are good people. These are people that are already showing you they will silence you. They will use the street mob to silence you or get you to comply. Those other social experiments, that wasn't like that. It didn't happen that way. Those were better angels. These are worse angels. Now they're putting out a hit, and call it what it is. They're saying it's doxing. It's a hit list.
Listen, these people are radicals. These people are radicals, and just think about this for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Really think about this. From the moment that Zohran Mamdani was elected and sworn in as mayor of New York, all we have seen consistently are these Democrat socialists become more outspoken, tell you exactly what their plans are. They're showing up on news networks now telling you, yeah, this is what we plan to do. This is what we want to do. We want to get rid of private property. We want to defund the police. We want to get rid of borders. We don't want the presidency and the Senate to exist how it does. We want to abolish ICE. We want to defund the police. We want to, they're not hiding their intentions. They're not trying to play a game where they'll tell you one thing and bait and switch and do another. These people are very much telling you exactly what they're going to do now. They're dressing it up saying, hey, everything will be wonderful because that means everyone will have the same and it's all going to be fair and balanced. That's where these fools who are falling for it seem to be drinking the blue Kool-Aid, believing that that's actually a possibility, that that you can take so much from those who have more because they are more successful. And then it's going to be just spread out evenly and everyone will be fine. It'll be fair and balanced. These people are radicals, and what's going to end up happening is those who have the means to remove themselves will do so eventually. They'll do so with the hopes that, well, he can't be mayor forever, right? I mean, at some point he'll have to leave, and so they'll wait him out. They'll leave. They'll flee the city, and who will be left will be those who have no means, no way to leave, and they'll just become more and more impoverished. And Mamdani will probably like that because it becomes a situation where now he has more power and control and more ability to continue to push his ideology. And so we'll wait and see. Those are my thoughts in the update. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your comments down below. I always appreciate when you guys chime in. Don't forget, enjoy the content. Smash that thumbs up. For more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.